So yeah, it's been an interesting one on the run up to this Khamzat Gilbert Burns fight. I've been a massive fan of Khamzat since he's come into the UFC. I think he's an absolute beast. He's running through people, he's picking them up, bouncing them off the ground whilst talking to Dana. And when you see him outside the cage in his YouTube videos and hanging out with Darren Till, he's fucking awesome as well. I really, really do like him. Unfortunately, I've got this massive fear now that the hype train is being derailed by, and you can guess who. It's the MMA commentators and the MMA ex-fighters and fucking DC and everyone else pumping this so much, and Schaub more so than everyone. And I know in my last video a lot of people gave me shit for saying Schwab instead of Schaub, but I do a lot of videos over on another channel and on another stream talking about Klaus Schwab, so I got the two of them mixed up. Apologies for that one. Watched the video today of Schaub talking about the fight in the weekend with Gilbert Burns and Khamzat, and it was just like, holy shit, dude, calm yourself. What the fuck are you smoking?
Khamzat's a guy at 170 is the best in the world. At 185, we will see against Izzy. I'm still obviously super high on Izzy. And that light heavyweight, he can fuck around and play the game in all three of those divisions.
I mean, he spoke about Khamzat as if he is going to run through everyone. And as I said, I'm a huge fan, and most people think that when they see his fighting style, it's like, yep, it's going to be impossible to beat this motherfucker. And when I hear guys writing off the likes of Colby Covington and everyone else in the division, I'm like, hold on a second. Just hold up here a second. Like, Schaub said today that he goes through Gilbert, then it's next in line who's Colby, and then he just waits for Usman then after that. And it's like, that's what we're doing. We're just writing off them three guys as if they're nobodies. And more so than that, he went on to say that he's the best at 170. We'll see at 185. And then he can go all the way up to light heavyweight and dominate there as well. These are outlandish statements by someone who's seriously riding his fucking dick, man. And that worries me. That sort of shit worries me, because according to Brendan Schaub, the only person that can beat Khamzat in the UFC is Izzy. Now, I'm not an ex-fighter. I don't have the expertise that Brendan Schaub has. But for me, it's an absolutely terrible matchup if it was ever to happen for Israel. The only time we've seen him get mauled outside of the kickboxing KO was when he went up in weight and got absolutely mauled for 5 rounds by a better wrestler. You're telling me that Khamzat wouldn't do that to him? He wouldn't grab onto him real quick? Brendan was talking about if aliens came down, man, and they wanted to see what the real fighting style was, you'd show them Israel Adesanya, because he's just a fucking beast, man. I disagree. I think Israel is a really good striker. Really good at managing movement and distance and countering. But there's a lot of countering. And that can be easily read. And that can be easily nullified. And if you're talking about what happened to him when he moved up in weight and got mauled by the Polish plumber lad, I think that if you are going to the outlandish statements of pushing Khamzat all the way up through 3 different divisions, dominating everyone, after really he's only had 3 fights in the UFC, and there were nobodies. Again, we kind of fall into that paradigm of Paddy Pimblett, except for Khamzat is actually good. Paddy drives me mad. I did a video, I got a lot of heat on that. It is what it is. You shouldn't really speak in the same sentence, Paddy Pimblett and Khamzat. Absolutely never. Khamzat is an absolute warrior. He wants to go to war. He wants to smash people. And he doesn't care who he fights. And of course, that's why we love him. That's why I love him. I don't know how I've found myself in this situation where I am today, where I'm saying, dude, I'd like to see Gilbert Burns go straight in there, dominate with some jiu-jitsu and submit him and put an end to the hype train. And that's kind of, there's the juxtaposition where it's I'm going against myself almost, because I want Kamzat to be the star. I want him to be the face. I want him to smash everyone. And it's the MMA community that are actually getting inside my head, making me be like, hold on a second. I want to see him lose just to shut you up. You know, and that's not the right way to be. Like, I wanted him to go on and dominate everything. But there's other fighters there that I think are going to give him a problem. He hasn't been tested. He hasn't really been tested. As I said, he's fought a couple of nobodies. You look at his training videos, which everyone talks about his training videos. Schaub does the same. It's like, you look at his training 5 times a day, man, and it's just like, no one's on that level. Okay, cool. Let's see him in a real dogfight. Let's see him in there with Kamaru Usman. Let's see him in there with Colby Covington. Let's see what he does with Gilbert Burns. I don't put much faith in Gilbert Burns besides the jiu-jitsu. His chin is glass. When he gets hit, he does the chicken dance. Then he starts crying. I think that he unleashed a really good overhand right on Usman, nearly took him out. And then the frustration of watching him wobble on every punch after that was the loudest motorbike on earth. The frustration of watching him wobble after that was just infuriating. So we'll see. We'll see what the outcome is this weekend. But I think it's outlandish and very disrespectful. I can understand getting on the hype train and wanting people to do well. And I understand the people that are jumping into my comments talking about Paddy Pimblett as well, saying, dude, he's a really likeable guy. Why are you hating on him? It's like, hold on. I am not hating on him. I just don't have any interest in someone that is overweight most of the time, unless they're in a fight camp, who binges like 10 or 20 donuts at a time and dances and jumps around like a fucking asshole. On top of that, then you put yourself right into the media saying that you are as big, if not bigger, than Conor McGregor right now. And you refuse fights for anyone inside the top 15. It's just farcical. So the comments can be whatever they are and the hate can be whatever it is. I couldn't give a fuck. But I just wish that people would calm down and stop being disrespectful towards the likes of Kamaru Usman, towards the likes of Colby Covington, even Gilbert Burns. You know, like, Gilbert Burns is no joke when it comes to grappling. The chin is glass, fair enough, but when it comes to grappling, he's no joke. If Kamzat goes in there and absolutely mauls and destroys Gilbert and makes him look like a 6-year-old boy like he's done to all the other lads that he's gone up against, then the hype train will keep on fucking rolling, let me tell you. And then we can start believing. And then we'll see him against bigger fighters and better caliber. Now, Brendan said that, well, your next move after you go through, just like it was a given, after you go through Gilbert, you go up and you get the second best guy, that's Colby Covington. And then I guess you just wait then for Kamaru Usman after that. So you're saying that he beats Gilbert, he mauls and smashes Colby Covington, and then he jumps up and does him, and then jumps up 2 or 3 more weights and does it to everyone. I think you're losing your shit there, bro. I think you're losing your shit. But again, this just plays into the bias that we've always talked about here on this channel. And that is the fact that there is bias against people. Right now, Brendan's on the hype train of Khamzat. He's talking about Dagestan in every other sentence. And Khamzat isn't even from anywhere near it. He's from about 200 miles south of that. But again, this is Brendan. It is what it is. We'll see on the weekend. We'll see if this train keeps on rolling. Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll talk to you soon. Cheers.